Senator Eric Schmitt. Senator, as a former state attorney general, this is going to obviously be subject to litigation. The court has not definitively ruled on this yet, but knowing this court, I'm not sure how it would come out. I tend to think it might come out against what the president and all of us would like. But why was it important for President Trump to issue this order?
Well, it's addressing a real perverse incentive that currently exists, whether it's remain in Mexico, making Mexico the waiting room to get rid of the incentive of catch and release. That's an obvious one. But here on birthright citizenship, it has created this perverse incentive for people to come here illegally. And if they have a child, then at that point, that child would be a citizen under that interpretation. But here's why that's wrong. Senator Howard, who was the author of that amendment, was very specific. He's quoted, he's written about it. It wasn't intended for illegal aliens. It wasn't even intended for people here lawfully who had children like ambassadors. So he was clear. That's sort of the intent behind it. It was specifically meant to address the Dred Scott case, which the Dred Scott case said effectively that slaves were not citizens. They weren't subject to the rights. They didn't get to enjoy the rights of being a citizen, the privileges and immunities of being a citizen. So it meant to address that specific issue at that moment in time. And so Judge Posner of the Seventh Circuit, who would never be considered a friend to conservative on these issues, he agrees with that interpretation. This wouldn't apply. Also, Harry Reid, who's no friend to conservatives, also agreed that this is not intended to be for children of illegal immigrants. So you're right, it's going to get litigated, but I think President Trump spoke very clearly on this, and I'm glad that he did.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about how you interpret the phrase "and subject to the jurisdiction Correct. Thereof." And so it'll be fascinating to see how this plays out, but I think this is going all the way to the Supreme Court. Now, the Democrat AG in Arizona apparently it doesn't really know the people she actually represents. Watch this.
I don't think that voters in Arizona, whoever they voted for, ever thought that they would be voting to undermine birthright citizenship or to destroy birthright citizenship.
Senator, this is a very lopsided issue that runs against the Democrats, but that's a Democrat state attorney general. Does this not confirm in people's mind the idea that Democrats put illegal immigrants first and not American citizens' rights?
Yeah, they also don't really understand, as you could tell by that quote, really what November 5th, 2024 was all about. President Trump, you saw him on the campaign trail. I spent a lot of time with him on the campaign trail. He spoke about illegal immigration all the time. He would talk about this issue all the time. There are 15 million people here illegally because we've created an incentive structure for them to come. They get taxpayer benefits. There's no wall to prevent them from coming. Mexico's no longer the waiting room. So the American people knew exactly what they were doing when they voted for President Trump. They wanted to end this invasion at our southern border. You would think that the Attorney General of a border state would understand it. But again, I think it goes to how out of touch these Democrats are on the issues that matter to real people.
All right, Senator, great to see you. Thank you very much.